Okay, good morning, everyone. Or good morning for me, and then good evening to those over in the East Coast, in the U.S. So good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is Nervape James. Looks like it's just going to be some of our team members today, but that's okay. We are going to go over September, the monthly recap for September 2023, which was last month. And as far as the I think the team and I were discussing whether we'd release this as a podcast. What I will be doing is I'll be recording my voice separately. So don't worry, if you're speaking, your voice will not be recorded. But I'll be recording my voice and releasing my reading of the recap as a podcast or an audio file. So we can use that as an audio file for our website and for our podcast. So that's what we'll be doing. As far as your own voice, just to keep it, casual and private, for now we're not recording other speakers who would like to speak. I'll just be recording my voice. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the September recap. So this past September, if you haven't already, please check the Medium link that I've listed in the event description. You can also see the tweet that I posted yesterday for the Nervape Recap AMA. There's a link to the Medium article. We write a monthly Medium article for Nervape, doing a recap of the previous month. So last month was Nervape Recap, DCentral Tokyo, Shanghai team meeting, AMA with filmmaker Byron Q, September 2023. All right, so let's take a look at this recap together. So hi Nervape fam, autumn is here, and with it, the Nervape team has been busy beta testing NACP, attending a Web3 conference in Tokyo, holding a Twitter space, and more. Let's recap September together. Okay. Just another note, as I'm reading the recap, instead of just reading the recap, word for word, I'll also be adding a little bit of my own experiences, my own thoughts to each section. So this won't be just a pure reading of the recap. It'll be a reading of the recap and also me adding some anecdotes or some, description to the recap, just to give this a little bit more, more context and more flavor than just reading the recap word for word. All right. So going forward, project update. If you are following on the Medium article, you'll see there we have pictures of, story 15, Miracle, story 16, The King's Tree Beginnings, and Journey, and story 17, Journey to Dreamland. So project update. Notice to all Nervape Saga readers, before we adventure with our apes into Chapter 3, Heavenly, of the Nervape Saga, we'll be taking a hiatus from publishing new stories for the time being. If you haven't already, read our latest story, Story 17, Journey to Dreamland. The link is in the Medium link, or you can also go to nervape.com/story. Also check out the rest of the Nervape Saga here at nervape.com/story, which I just mentioned, and we'll be sure to update you when we're back. All right, so that's we're planning to, take a little break from writing the stories and publishing stories with the story art. So for the meantime, I would say go ahead and review the stories that we have published. Also, what is pretty exciting is that we'll be releasing podcasts of readings of the story. And also we'll be interviewing team members that helped write the story and getting some of their thoughts on, what the story meanings, the motifs, the themes. So look out for that in the near future. Also, side note, if you haven't already, the Journey to Dreamland and the King's Tree Beginnings, if you look on our Twitter, these two stories had a very broad reach. For some reason, these two stories in particular had a very big reach. So that's great. It's great for us. We're very proud of these stories, and I would say go ahead, check out the previous stories as well. The King's Tree Beginnings and Journey to Dreamland are particularly particularly pretty awesome in my point of view, because they also establish a new character, Snooze, and also you get a little bit into the mechanics of how and why these apes are trying to get to the third continent and how the world works. Okay, so yeah, check those out. Moving on, let's take a look at NACP collection and sneak peeks. So here, if you're following on the Medium article, you can see some sneak peeks. You can also take a look at our Twitter. We have so here I'll just go ahead and read. In September, we released a number of new NACP sneak peeks, including a chef ape to honor our workers for Labor Day, a bomb gangster with stacks of cash, an ape on the way back from the supermarket, and a lovely grandpa ape for Japan's respect of the Age Day. View more NACP sneak peeks here. And then there's a link to our NACP collection. Yeah, and these are great. These NACPs, or Nervape composite apes, they're designed with our NACP 2D PFP platform. And these were put together by our design team. And what's really great is that you can really express yourself, because there's so many different designs, and you can create all sorts of different kind of composites, Nervape composite, NACP, different composites of apes, for example, like the ones I just mentioned. And like even the old grandpa ape with the Japanese lantern, that's super cool. That was for respect of Age Day in Japan, because I spent time in Japan. So in Japan, they have a respect for Age Day for older people. And just a side note, if you didn't know, like they started giving out these little souvenirs to Japanese people that are 100 years old. I believe they're like kind of like a sake cup, right? But because there are so many, because the age population is increasing so much in Japan, they had to. I think it used to be silver. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they had to go to a cheaper material to make the sake cups, because there were so many older people. There's so many people reaching the age of 100 in Japan, so they had to try to cut costs a little bit. Anyways, that's a side note. Okay, moving forward. So last month in September, I attended DCentral Tokyo. That was September 19th to the 20th. This is in our community update part of the September recap. So I'll go ahead and read this. Nervape James attended DCentral Tokyo. You can check the link, DCentralCon.com. It's a Web3 event held in Shibuya. At the conference, I had the privilege to listen to and meet Web3 builders and creators from Japan and from around the world. As for me, as a community manager, one talk that stuck with me was Star-Lordy's, he's the CEO of Oniforce, his presentation on community and how having a clear mission statement that represents a team's core values is essential for each project to weather the ups and downs of the NFT market. And also, the feeling I got at the conference was that Japan is a great place for builders, because they mostly, in Japan, many of the people there were mostly hesitant into entering the NFT market. And I heard this a lot just talking with the Japanese builders and Web3 people at the conference, that they were hesitant to get into the NFT market. And because of that, they actually did not get burned by like the bear market, the NFT bear market, and instead were able to just focus on building and kept building. So that's an interesting, kind of like an interesting perspective I got on the Japanese Web3 atmosphere or environment. And I also got to meet some amazing artists. I met Intro Aquino. He's an artist that does NFTs where he paints. He does a painting, then he destroys the painting, but he uses the image of the painting and creates an NFT of that, which I thought was pretty interesting. I also met Fuzzy Gaff, another artist that works in the Web3 space, and I also heard some exciting developments in Web3 anime and gaming. So yeah, it was a fun conference. And the thing about Web3 anime, I think there was Emi Kusano. She's a Web3 anime, a multidisciplinary artist, and she is working with a company to, she's working with her own, I believe it's her own company, and she's creating a Web3 anime. I'm not exactly sure the mechanics of it, but that sounds exciting. And the same with gaming. There were a lot of companies there that work in the Web3 gaming space. And what the feeling I got was like, yes, Web3 gaming is kind of like weak right now as far as like the graphics and kind of the glitchiness of it, of how having like, okay, you get this item, then you have to sign, and then you get a new item, you have to sign. So they're working on making it, you know, just awesome games, but having Web3 as just as part of the system that helps power it, which I think is interesting. It's like, okay, can we just have cool games, but then have it a way to have it on the blockchain, you know? And same thing I hear with a lot of the other developments that they're building at the conference. Like, yeah, same with anime. Just have an awesome anime, but have it in some way, have it connected to Web3. So yeah, I think that's kind of cool. Yes, there weren't like lots of people at the conference. I think there was a little bit of like, yes, people are still wary about NFT. It's still not mainstream, but the people that were there were very passionate, and they were very interested in how can we make cool stuff and have Web3 as the way that connects, the way that powers it, right? And I thought that was pretty interesting and cool. All right, moving on. If you are following on the link on the Medium article, you can see there's some images of Shanghai, some Chinese food. So Shanghai team meeting. So members of the Nervape team attended a Nervape all hands meeting in Shanghai last month. There were great discussions about our core values and what we want to build towards. So going back to like the conference I had, I went to in Tokyo, those are some things that I brought up in the meeting and that our team members discussed about having a mission statement and core values. Also, I wasn't there, but the rest of the team had some amazing Chinese food. If you go on our medium.com Nervape account and check out the article, you can also see some pictures of the team members, and they had these apes. So we had these 3D apes. They have these apes 3D printed, and they're able to put them in front of different cool scenery and take pictures of it. So you can see them enjoying food, good company, delicious food, and a beautiful Shanghai view. I forget who took that picture. I think it was, okay, yeah. Yeah, so that's the picture of the Shanghai skyline. I think that's the Bund in the background. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. And then we have we have Brad there enjoying a looks like a Starbucks of some sort. Okay, cool. Moving on. Filmmaker Byron Q and Nervape. The future of storytelling is now. So. Last month we had on the 28th, September 28th, I hosted an AMA space with filmmaker and Rococo product specialist Byron Q. He discussed his current film project, Killing of a Machine. It's a short film project that utilizes Unreal Engine and virtual production filmmaking techniques. And also we talked about his work at Rococo, which is a motion capture company. We delved into how this new technology will affect storytelling, as well as topics like, how will AI affect humanity? Those that retweeted the event and joined the space are eligible for a bonelist. So I already tweeted about that in our Twitter, so please check that out. I listed 3 members that qualified. They joined the space and also retweeted the event. If you missed it, no worries. You can still listen to the space. I have a link in our September recap article, and also you can check our Twitter. The link is there as well to re-listen to the space. I think it starts around the 3 minute and 33 second mark. If you listen from there, that's where the interview starts. And I think it's super interesting what Byron is doing. He also mentions how motion capture is used in the Web3 space. People are using it as a way to capture, they design an avatar, and then you can move your avatar in real time with a motion capture suit from Rococo, which I think is super interesting and cool. And people are talking now about the metaverse and be able to have avatars interact in a kind of a virtual 3D space. And I think this kind of technology, motion capture and being able to move your avatar with your own body, of course, that's pretty cool. We've been used to video games where we move avatars and move characters with a joystick or a controller, but he's talking about how you move it with your whole body, and I think that leads to a much more immersive experience. And also we talked about how he's utilizing this new tech for filmmaking, which is, my background is in filmmaking, and I think that's super interesting because what it does, it opens the world, like what used to be only specific to multi-million-dollar studios, is now the technology is opening up avenues for filmmakers and storytellers and creators to create these really immersive environments in a virtual space using Unreal Engine, and which is basically, that's an engine used primarily for video game, like creating video games, but now people are using it to make films and stories. So I think that's super cool. So please check out that talk, super interesting. He's a little pessimistic about how AI will affect humanity. I know I know Echo's here, right? Yeah, so I know there was a conversation we had about AI in, what was it? March? Oh yeah, Outer Edge, LA. And I think anyone that works in Web3 and in technology, we're all aware of like the dangers of AI and the dangers of how this rapid technology, rapid improvement in technology is affecting us. And I think it's great that we're having these conversations. It's great that I talked to our team, Echo and Brad, about it. And I think you can't stop a tidal wave, right? You can't stop a wave from waving. I know, what does a wave do? Splashing. So you can't stop a wave from waving and moving, right? So what do? I guess you have to find a way to ride the wave, and how can we, in the way, kind of update our systems, update our ways to handle this technology so that it doesn't destroy us. I think a lot of us are thinking about this in the Web3 and technology space. So that's great. All right, moving on. The rest of the recap is stuff that we've talked about before. So like, for example, the NACP Bonelist. There's a detailed web page about our NACP Bonelist, which is our whitelist. It allows Bonelisted members priority access. And there's a link there. It's on Tourmaline. There's a link there for our Bonelist, and gives you Echo and I worked really hard on like making sure that this was very clear. What is a Bonelist? How does it work? Mainly, and then Dee did a great job on the poster here. If you click on the picture, it says, sorry, let me take a quick look. 2 spots. I can magnify the picture. Cool. The benefits of an NAC Bonelist include 2 spots exclusively reserved for minting, access to exclusive opportunities in our Discord and future NFT releases. Next one, a guaranteed mint. So you are guaranteed to get a mint. Oh, that beeping, don't worry about that. That's my laundry finishing. Okay, I'll have to do that after this. I gotta hang my laundry after this. And then next one, access to unique and special background assets, letting you add your own personal touch to your collection. So that's Bonelist specific assets, like Saga only assets. So if you remember, we had a whole series of Saga challenges. So if you are a Bonelist member and you participated in those, so there's Saga only assets. Sorry, I misspoke. There are Saga only assets that you get if you participated in the challenges and you passed our quizzes. And then there's our specific Bonelist assets as well that are only for Bonelist members. So, and special background assets. And so we have some of our team here. Did I say that correctly? Yeah, is that good? Please, if anyone wants to request to speak and say, James, you're wrong, please do so. Okay. Next up, we have a community wiki. Make sure to keep. We have our roadmap on there. You can click on the Nervape community wiki to keep up to date with that. And then Discord. You want to get a Bonelist? Stay up to date with events like this one. Please join our Discord. and we'll be letting you all know about Bonelist giveaways. For this particular event, we don't have a Bonelist giveaway. I'm sorry. Thank you for coming, though. I really appreciate you joining. But in future events, we will plan to add Bonelist giveaways to our events. All right. Fun art, Snooze the Dreamer sketches. So yeah, this is really cool. We upload behind the scenes sketches. This is what from a few months ago, but I still kept it in our recap. Echo, she shared some behind the scenes sketches of Snooze the Dreamer. And you can see who is that? That's Bobo Bear on the right, hugging Snooze, and Snooze is holding Hey Bear. So those are bears that are super like cool, and they're very dear to Echo. And this character is very dear to Echo, so she helped design did the background sketches for it. Okay, and then yeah, how do they compare to the 3D model? Let us know in the comments. Nervape wallpaper, as usual, we have awesome 3D characters, images, story art, and more, so you can download our beautiful wallpaper there. And we also are calling all artists. We want to collaborate and make some amazing art with the Nervape. Do you want to collaborate and make some amazing art with the Nervape team, or do you know any artists that want to do so? Let us know. You can submit your portfolio through our Google form. We have a link to the Google form in our Medium September recap. All right. Social media, we have a Pinterest. Our Pinterest page is up. I think the Pinterest page is pretty cool because you can see all of our images kind of like, coalesced together in kind of like a nice collage. So, and also it's pretty interesting to see what pins are, recommended by the Pinterest algorithm. So yeah, be sure to check that out. It's at pinterest.com/Nervape. And you can see all the pins we've put up. All right, we also have a Giphy. If you want to check out our GIFs, that's on giphy.com/channel/Nervape. We have an Instagram. We've been putting out some cool stories and images on there. We have a new series called Inspirational Apes, which you can see on Instagram, which are, inspirational fun quotes that we've listed, paired up with some awesome images and designs from our design team. We have our YouTube where we post, our, previously on the Nervape Saga videos, and we also made some YouTube shorts on there. All right. So wrapping this up, this past September, we've been testing and tinkering with NACP. It's getting ready for release, and stay tuned. That's at nervape.com/NACP. We're planning maybe in the next few months, but before we do that and before we finalize a date, we'll be doing a beta testing. So please look out for that. Don't miss your chance to get a bonelist for NACP. So be sure to follow our Twitter, join our Discord here for upcoming events. And also, we have some interesting stuff coming out in audio soon, such as this, like a Nervape podcast. So please look out for that. All right. The next recap, the next AMA will be in early November, coming out next month. So till then, fellow Nervapes, stay awesome and have a happy Halloween. It's October now, so autumn is here. Where I'm at, it's getting chilly. So thank you for joining, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.